We're looking at a worksheet called Year Data. And what I've done here, I've simply highlighted this data and pressed Alt F1. I've got a chart to the right. I'm about to add a chart title, and I'm thinking, and I'd like to use the actual data that I see over in this merge cell as my title. And even though I don't have a title down the left-hand side, I'd like to be able to use that phrase we see over in cell A2. That's also a merged cell. You can associate or link titles to actual content within the worksheet. And if the worksheet content changes, so will the title. Now, I'm going to go to, first of all, in the Design tab to Quick Layout. Choose Option 9. This provides temporary chart titles on top, down the left-hand side, and below. I'm going to click that option. So for chart title, I can certainly click here and highlight the text and type in whatever I want. But on the other hand, if I type equal, and now click the cell that has the data I want. Now this is a merged cell, so I can click anywhere in this panel. It's actually cell A1, but just click anywhere here. And then press Enter. And it says Home Division. And if that should have been Home Department, I'll click back over here and readjust this. And although it's not obvious just yet, as I type Department and complete that, watch the chart. It's linked, and anytime I make a change there, it changes in the chart. Axis title here, I really don't want to type all that information, worldwide sales, millions of dollars, but why not? Just simply, in this case, like before, click equal, click on that cell. It too is a merged cell. That's not a prerequisite. Enter. That's in place too. And if it turns out maybe this company's doing really well and that should have been B for billions there instead of M, we'll change that to B. And as soon as I finish that, we see what's happening in our list here. But that's not too realistic, so I'll press Control-Z. So we can make changes. Here I don't want to title at all. Possibly I'll just press Delete, but if I want that linked to certain other information, I can certainly do the same kind of thing. Remember, type equal, click on a cell, press Enter. So anytime we make changes to either of these cells, our titles will change. You can do this at any time. And you can also do this by way of a text box. I wouldn't say it's any better, but if I were to have deleted this for some reason, maybe I want the chart to look a little bit taller this way, I can add free text with the chart selected. Go to the Format tab. Here's the text box over in the Insert Shapes group. If you don't see it in here, you might have to do some scrolling or click that lower button. You'll find it eventually. Text box, click it, click and drag somewhere in here. And if I want this to be tied to the actual data, I'll click its border. And then, in this case, slightly differently, I have to click in the formula bar and type equal, and then click that cell. Home Department, it's in cell A1, and Enter. And if you don't see the enter, you might think initially, well, it didn't work, but if we make this wider, there it is. And as we move the chart, that will move with it. We can move this around. So it's a different approach, and not necessarily as good as the other one, but we do have some freedom to do this by way of a text box. So this too changes. And if I were to, maybe when I was typing this, didn't complete it or something, or change it to DEPT, period, make a change, we see that happening here. So this too is in sync. So we can change our titles regardless of where they are on a chart by linking them to cells. Remember, slightly differently when we're working with data like this, we simply type equal, click on a cell, press Enter. If we're using a text box, we have to click the frame first, then click in the formula bar. Initially, it would have been empty, equal, then click on the cell in question and Enter. Different approaches here to creating titles by linking them to cells.